Worry is the price you pay for something you may never own. That's a really interesting quote, because I hate paying for stuff that I don't get. The frugal man in me doesn't want to, if it was money, I wouldn't give it away, so why would I give away worry? But worry comes from a crazy place. It comes from imagination, and we think it's, another quote that I really live by is, worry is the abuse of the imagination, or the overuse. And so it's funny, because we can create anything with our imagination, but we create these horrible nightmares about our future because we think it's pragmatic or safe, being practical. It's like, actually, you're being destructive. You're actually coming from a place of destruction, not a place of creation, a place of fear, not a place of love. Steve Chandler says there's, in his book Time Warrior is a great book, I really quote a lot, and he says, there's no such thing as the dark, just the absence of light. When I want to get rid of dark, I just flick on a light switch or light a candle. I don't have to manage the dark or overcome the dark or work on the dark. It just disappears. Much like fear. There's no such thing. It's just abuse of the imagination. And when you have fear, all you have to do is pour love on it. Fear is just the absence of love. And I think that's such a great understanding of where we sit and this whole concept of worrying. I mean, realistically, I just think if you could be fair with yourself, like if you're going to worry about one side, because there's no evidence of what's going to happen in your future, right? And most times we boil it down to like the have or have-nots, or the did or did nots. So keep score that way. Like, people complain all the time of what's not right, but then keep score of what is right for you. Or think about it. So there's two ways to look at this. The first thing is you complain of what you don't have. Well, I once complained I had no shoes until I met a man that had no feet. And so I just think you should keep score both ways. I don't have any shoes, but I have feet. I don't have any money, but I have my health. I don't have any time. Well, that's because your life is full of great things. There are people that often complain about the thing they have that they just wish 3 years ago that they did have it. I've heard so many people ask the universe for something and get upset with the way it arrives. That's not gratitude. That's control. That's fear. There's just nothing there for you. And it's just not healthy. And then the other side of it is the expectations of what your future is. You get so fearful that you're not going to get it, or that it's something bad's going to happen because life is chaotic. But the weird thing is that life is really messy in a beautiful way. It's teaching you stuff. And so when people wish they had no problems, I kind of think, wow, like, you don't want to grow at all, because that's how we grow, through these barriers, these obstacles, to get to successful people know that they're proving who they are in these moments. Failures are people that struggle at being happy. They think everything is a punishment. They see it as a threat to their security. But the only way you're going to have no problems is if you die. And so, like I think I heard that before, you want the problems of a dead person, rather than living your life and realizing that these things are helping you become who you asked to be. And starting to live life with intent and understanding, rather than, just sadness and, I didn't get what I want. Well, not yet, but it's coming if you really want it. Like, you ask people all the time. Tony Robbins had a great question about, like, how long would you teach your kid to walk before you gave up? And if you don't have a kid, people imagine. Say, imagine you don't have, you had a kid. How long? Oh, I never give up. Okay, so the secret of success is never give up. Which isn't completely true, because you got to quit some things. You got to quit the bad relationship. You got to quit to get to the next level sometimes. But that's another video, another time. And so, but the secret of success, if you want something, is just never give up. And so I wonder, and I ask them, why do they love their imaginary kid sometimes, or their own kid, more than they love themselves? It's like so weird how easy it is to love other people. Even though there's people in your life right now that, pardon me, they've gone through a lot worse than you, and they've made some bad decisions, and you still forgive them and love them. Because, we deserve that. But yourself, you beat up, and you fret that you won't get what you want, and you worry. You come from this place of fear, and then you wonder why there's no inspired thinking or inspired action or inspired relationships. Like, if you want which of those things, just, it's not about being fake positive. I'm not a big fan of this optimism and, the secret just being positive, because that's not real. Life is messy. You can be as positive you want. Your life is going to kick you in the teeth. But it's not about the positivity of believing everything's going to be perfect. It's about understanding what happens to you as part of a bigger picture, and you're okay. And you can see and learn and grow. And it's not a setback. It's an opportunity for you to thrive. And there's always opportunity in loss. There's always opportunity in the next level of your life. And the more you have faith in yourself and you believe that you're not being punished, that this is all part of your understanding, that you're going to start to rise to the occasion. You're not going to fear the future, so you're not going to be that person that has frets, and you're going to start to live in more gratitude because of what you have. It's a gift, everything around you right now. So you don't see things as because that first one, with the person who's always complaining about what they don't have, they see life from a place of judgment, believing it should be different than it is, and they separate. Rather than springing in, they push away. Because it's not so much about what you want, it's about what's the opportunity for you to have. It's like someone only looking for $20 bills on the ground, but they walk by 50 loonies because they don't see a $20 bill. A lot of people need to change their perspective to see how they can get what they really want, and not just be so narrow-minded. And if they just live in a place of understanding and knowing that their journey is right there, that opportunity is constantly there for you, just one decision away. And the best decision is living in gratitude and understanding, and not living in fear, living in love. So through gratitude and love, a lot of things shift for you. And so, as they have for me, I remember times where I felt that way, where I felt like the world was punishing me and that I wasn't getting seen or what I wanted. And the moment I gave that up and realized the opportunities of loving myself and being true as I lived in my present, and not the fear of the future, this untold, how many different possibilities. I love when people say, what if, what if this happens? I'm like, let's play the what if game, because that can go on forever. What if a meteorite hits my house? What if this happens? What if this happens? Sure. But why don't you play what if both ways? What if great things starts to happen? What if I win the lottery tomorrow? You see how it's funny? People don't always go what if in a good direction. They just want to be. And so the weird thing is your brain and body does not know the difference between your what ifs and the real situation. So if you're constantly feeling unhappy, I would challenge you to say, guess what? You've created that through your thinking. And instead of battling that, just recognize that those are just thoughts. We all have them. I think, what if a meteorite hits my home? Well, not all the time, but what if something bad happens is the metaphor. And so what if something bad happens? I think about that, but then I don't make it my identity. I don't react to that thought. It's just a thought. And so you get to a point where you just start to see your thoughts as things, and you don't react to all of them. You don't start living in the future. You don't harp on the past that's unmovable and broken. You just live in the present with gratitude, and you start to see what opportunities exist. I just wish people lived their life the way that they drove a car. Well, most people drove a car. You have a rear view window that represents the past. How often do you look out there? A little, just to know where you're at and make sure everything's okay. That's about how much time you should spend in the past. And you know which direction you're pointing. You're in the car, you know where you're going, so you have a destination, but you don't obsess over it. Unless you're a kid. Are you there yet? Are you there yet? So that ruins the trip. But when you're in the present, the trip goes faster. And how far out in front of the car, the future, the front window, how far out do you look? 10 feet, 30 feet, whatever. But you don't look 50 miles ahead. You don't look to your destination all the time. You're not just staring at it. You crash. You would be a dangerous driver. And so I just wish people lived in that moment of just what's going on in front of them. Not even a day at a time, maybe, 10 minutes at a time, an hour at a time. Just live in their day and be really present in noticing things, and start to see how life changes when you stop living in your head of fearing the future and separating because you think you're not seeing, you're not getting opportunity. When you're present, you're really there to pick that up. And so be present in the vehicle, this car you're driving from a physical level. So mine's a yellow car today. This is really bright on camera. Anyways, I hope you have an amazing day, and this rambling brought some value to you. Just some crazy black sheep thoughts by a black sheep thinker. Thanks for your patronage. We love you. Feel free to ask questions. We hope to hear from you more. Tell your friends. We would love to grow the herd a little bit more and create a bigger community. Much love. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye.